Class resumes with Aizawa announcing their participation in the upcoming sports festival, and some non-Class A students talk trash, spurring Bakugo to announce that he'll take first place, reminding Midoriya of his own motivations. After Best Mom sends Midoriya on his way, the festival starts with a race. Todoroki's ice quirk slows everyone, followed by the robots from the entrance exam. Midoriya finds a metal slab from a fallen robot to help him get through, and he arrives at a chasm where a student shows off her inventions for support companies watching, and they all conquer the chasm to arrive at a minefield where Bakugo takes the lead and battles Todoroki. Midoriya, who is a good deal behind, uses his ingenuity, the slab from earlier, and the force from the mine to catapult himself into the lead in a crazy cool sequence to win the race. The next event is a cavalry battle in which the contenders steal points from one another in the form of headbands, so Midoriya, who has 10 million points, is the biggest target. Everyone forms their teams comprised of people acting as horses and one person as rider. Midoriya's team, comprised of Tokoyami, Uraraka, and Invention Chick, are ruthlessly attacked, while Bakugo has trouble with Monoma and his copy quirk, but they overcome. Team Todoroki, meanwhile, is able to take Deku's 10 million headband with only a minute left, and Team Bakugo heads to Deku for the big points. Midoriya is able to take a headband back, forcing Todoroki for a split second to manifest fire, which he has refused to use until now. But it is only the 70-point band, putting them in too low of a spot to advance. In a most intense sequence, multiple teams aim to clash for the 10 million points, but time runs out. Luckily, however, Tokoyami took another headband, allowing them to advance, causing Midoriya to cry himself into the ground. Todoroki explains his boilingly tragic backstory while asking what the connection between him and All Might is with no answer, vowing to beat Deku without the use of his father's firepower out of disdain for him. The tournament portion begins, and Shinzo, a student from General Studies, baits Midoriya into triggering his quirk despite Tails' warning, allowing him to control him, telling him to walk out of bounds. After the most edge-of-your-seat walk, Deku pulls something out of his bum in the nick of time, stopping himself with a slight shock. He then flips Shinzo out of bounds, winning the bout. Multiple rather interesting other battles take place, leading to Tokoyami defeating Momo with the awesome Dark Shadow, and Rock fights Metal, ending in a draw. Oshako does surprisingly well against Bakugo, but he barely manages to overcome and defeat her, and Rock wins the rematch with Metal. Midoriya and Todoroki's match begins with a flurry of ice being flicked away by Deku, eventually breaking his fingers and arm. Todoroki tiring too, but still refusing to use fire. He flashes memories of his past with his abusive trash excuse of a father, driving his mother insane, while Deku tries encouraging him to give it his all and that his power is his, not his father's. Todoroki finally flames on, and in an amazing sequence the two clash in one last attack at full power, resulting in Deku out of bounds. Recovery Girl explains that Deku went way too far in damaging himself and she will not heal injuries like that anymore. Midoriya suggests that maybe somebody else should inherit One for All, and All Might then reveals that he was also originally quirkless. Elsewhere, Ida's brother, the hero Ingenium, falls to someone named Hero Killer, and after hearing the news, Ida leaves to the hospital. The matches continue, leaving Bakugo and Todoroki in the finals, and the Hero Killer, Stain, is then confronted by the League of Villains. The final match begins with a bang, but Icy Hot refuses to use fire again, to Bakugo's disdain, who states that he wants an indisputable first place without the opponent holding back. Todoroki finally fires up as Bakugo prepares an immense attack. However, Bakugo wins the match after Todoroki withdraws his flames, to Bakugo's utter rage. All Might congratulates the winner, and Todoroki goes to visit his mom in the mental institute for the first time ever in a very emotional scene. The hero internship program then approaches, which everyone got offers for thanks to the sports festival, except Midoriya due to his recklessness, so they all create codenames for themselves, Midoriya choosing Deku. Luckily, Gran Torino, All Might's old teacher, extends an offer to Midoriya for an internship. However, we learn that Ingenium can no longer be a hero due to his injuries, so Ida chooses an internship in Hosu, where the hero killer Stain resides. The internships begin, and the quirky old man Gran Torino tests Midoriya, who still has trouble with his quirk, and the League of Villains attempt to recruit Hero Killer Stain. On a more positive note, in a breakthrough inspired by microwavable taiyaki, Midoriya figures out that he should spread One for All throughout his body instead of one spot. He tests out One for All full cowling, but still can't hit Gran Torino, and back with the League of Villains, Stain stabs Shigaraki to see his true motives and learns that their ideals differ too much. Kodagiri teleports Stain to Hosu, who goes on his way, and a pissed off Shigaraki bent on killing Stain for stabbing him summons 3 Nomus there. A bit later, Deku and Gran Torino happen to arrive there, and their train is attacked by a Nomu being engaged by Gran Torino as Ida and his sponsor head to the scene. However, Ida is detoured, saving the hero native from the hero killer Stain with hatred in his eyes. The Nomus wreak havoc while Midoriya figures out that Ida went to encounter Stain, who stabs Ida in his arm and immobilizes him with his quirk. Deku arrives in the nick of time, stalling for time as he sends a signal out for help, but he is also immobilized just like Ida. However, another stroke of luck in the form of Todoroki arrives to help in the battle. Stain's movements prove difficult to keep up with, but Midoriya surprisingly enters the fray again while Ida and Native are still immobilized. Figuring out the secret to Stain's blood-licking quirk, their fight spurs the new Ingenium to finally move. Ida bursts into action, and after a tense struggle, Deku and him awesomely double whammy the hero killer, putting him down for the count. Meanwhile, Endeavor helps Torino defeat the Nomus, but one flies away. The pros then finally arrive at the kid's side, but the flying Nomu grabs Midoriya. Stain, however, breaks free of his ropes and kills the Nomu, raging his ideals, giving off the most intensive auras, and then suddenly passes out from an apparent rib puncturing his lung. Later, they decide to keep the incident a secret after the police jeep reprimands them for using their quirks without permission, normally a serious violation, and make public that Endeavor saved the day. Concerns rise for Stain's positive effect on the credibility of the League of Villains, who are probably led by All For One, the man who injured All Might and killed his predecessor. Everyone then continues their internships, including Tsuyu, who helps stop some criminals and their drug smuggling affairs. And just like that, the internships come to an end and they have a race which Tape wins. All Might then explains that One For All is derived from the quirk All For One, which can steal others' quirks and give quirks to others. He tells a story of an evil man with this power who gave power to his younger brother, who had a strong sense of justice, which became the origin for One For All, and that the evil man is probably the leader of the League of Villains. Later, Momo holds a study session in her rich home in preparation for the final exams to go to the summer training camp. The written exams finish quick because, you know, how exciting is that? And we move to the practical, which pits 2 students versus 1 teacher, pitting Deku and Bakugo versus All Might. The matches begin with most students winning, gaining admission to the summer camp as Froppy and Deku analyze each bout. Finally, Deku and Bakugo begin their match, with the stupid-ass Bakugo refusing to work together with Deku as All Might engages them. They perform terribly until Kacchan says he'd rather lose than get help from Deku, who punches him in the face. They finally decide to work together, and they barely manage to win. Toga and Dabi then come to join the League of Villains, intent on carrying out Stain's will, as the students go shopping as Shigaraki confronts Midoriya and talks about his frustration about Stain outstaging him and the Nomus. Luckily, Ochako shows up and he leaves without causing a scene. Midoriya reports the incident to the police, and All For One is then revealed, ending Season 2 of My Hero Academia.